Hi, I'm Marysol. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am planning for the week of May 5th through the 11th. It is the week before Go Wild, and let me tell you, it has been such a time. I've procrastinated, and this is one of the things that I procrastinated doing the spread, but I wanted to use Planners Anonymous chapter 15. And I just love cherry blossoms and coffee. So, what not a perfect way to celebrate Mother's Week, going to go wild the next week using this kit. As you know, I am an affiliate for Mojo Jojo Plans. So I am using her boxes. This is from her rainbow, like her first like full box that she sold, rainbow boxes. This is the brown. She had these really nice, funky lettering in the back for the days of the week, the months, and even the number days. And so that is what I'm using here on my spread. I decided that since it's a brown and pink spread that I would attempt to use this or use as much stickers as possible, and I do not regret it. This is a fun one, I do have to say. Now, I cut this video a lot down. It was an hour and 40 minutes. I think I spent a lot more time trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But once I got into the groove of things, it just really all came together. Now I am using stickers. I use a little bit of washi and I bring in some stamping, and let me tell you, I just love this spread. This is going to be a full spread for this week. Now I'm going to use this sidebar sticker for my sidebar. And like I said, I wanted to keep it all coffee and cherry blossom. So I thought this sidebar would be perfect. And I do use kind of that chalk blackboard to write something, a little quote. You won't see it before the spread, but definitely after the spread, you'll get to see it because I sat down and found out what I really wanted to put there. So here I'm just adding some corner florals, and I did go in and white out the month and then went back in and erased a little bit so it wasn't as noticeable. I wish I would have done that with my days of the week numbers, but it is what it is. It's still beautiful to me. So here I am. I'm adding this quote over here on Saturday and Sunday. It says chapters end, but the story always continues. Chapters for Planners Anonymous has come to an end for some time now. I just been holding on using this kit because I really wanted to use it in May. For me, cherry blossoms just scream spring. So that's why I'm just using it now. So I'm using some double boxes. All of the boxes that I'm using here, with the exception of a few, are from Mojo Jojo. So remember, I am an affiliate for Mojo Jojo. If you're going to shop her website, please use my link below. And uh, if the discount is not included, although it should be, but if it's not included, just add Marysol 10 in all lower caps for a discount. So I started off putting in my lines because last week when I did my spread, I ended up having difficulty on where I wanted my lines. So this week I decided that I was going to do my lines first and then decorate around that. It happened to be that I put him in the exact same place that I put him last week for some reason, but it wasn't planned or intended. It just happened like that. So now I'm just going to add my cherry blossoms, and this spread is just a cherry blossoms and coffee. I do add some washi tape with books. I felt it kind of gave it a little something else to look at because there's not really a lot of decorative elements besides the sidebar and the florals and the coffee stamping. So I did show you what I used, but I didn't use the Mementos chocolate coffee, I think it is. I use Tim Hortons Ranger Distress Oxide inks in espresso ground, and I really think it gave it a nice little touch to my spread. Now, I can say that some of it does look like it seeped into my pages. There's a little bit of ghosting on the other side, but not a whole lot. I did have to be a little bit more careful than I have been in the past because I was getting it on my fingers, so I was smudging it around my spread. Here, I just added a few boxes from Planners Anonymous Kids just because I thought that it would give it a little bit of color, a little bit of more color since, I mean, this spread is a really full spread, but it doesn't have a whole lot of variation in color. So now I start to grab my stamps, and this is where the messy part starts. So I really am so happy that I decided to buy this stamp set, and I honestly do not know where I got it from. Either it was online or on Amazon. I remember that at the time, I just wanted some coffee rings, and I actually 1 year for my spread, I actually really did use coffee rings. Like I grabbed a mug, I poured some coffee in a plate, and I would dip it and put it on my spread. And it was nice and it looked really cute, but I was like, there has to be an easier way. So I played around with some ideas. Coco Daisy, I want to say last year, came out with a stencil of these coffee stains, or yeah, coffee stains or ring stains. And I thought of using that, but they were really big. So I remember I had a stamp set and I looked for this one. I thought this was perfect, not too big, not too small, just right for my spread. So now I'm just adding some accents. I grabbed a little bit of those florals and just scattered them around the page like, cherry blossoms falling all over my pages. And then this coffee bean is from Planners Anonymous a stamp kit. So I've never had this happen before. I know people that have used Planners Anonymous in the past had talked about it, about these small stamps having a lot of issue like sticking to your silicone block for to get a good impression. They tend to fall off, and before using the coffee bean, I don't remember experiencing it, but I do have to say that with the bean it happened. It was my first time, so I'm not sure why. It didn't really stick good. So when I started stamping, I also noticed that it wasn't really a good solid stamp. So I went over it with my Sarasa Zebra Vintage Brown pen. I know I said that all backwards. My Zebra Sarasa uh, Vintage Brown pen. And I feel like that kind of gave it a little bit of more definition to my stamp. I did miss a couple now that I'm looking at my spread that I'm gonna have to go back and go with a the pen. But yeah, I think overall I think it looks good how it is. So once I finished that one side, I was able to move on to the next. I felt like I got all the details that I wanted, and it's pretty full, so I need to write in my planner and I need to leave space to write, right? So I'm grabbing some florals to add to this box just because I want to make sure that I'm balancing as best as I can from the other side. Now I know that because I have that really dark sidebar sticker on my sidebar, it's going to really be hard to balance that on that left side, and that's fine. Like I said, I mean, I feel like it gave it a really nice touch and I really like it. But it is a pretty sore spot that your eyes are just drawn to it because I know mine's are. So here I am. I grabbed a Planners Anonymous box and I'm just gonna stick that floral behind it. I really was trying to use this other floral, but it was not working given how I already had my boxes and my lines. So I just picked a different one to use, and that actually worked out better than if I just try to finagle to use that one sticker there. I do add it on the other side, and then I realize that they're all looking to the same side. So I do balance it out a little bit towards the end, and you'll see that in a little bit. Now, I see a lot of people doing this, like lifting their stickers up after they've placed them down with their tweezers. I just have to say that that didn't work very well for me. I kept punching holes in my pages. So yeah, that'll be the last time I do that until I learn how these professionals do it. I know that who is it that I see a lot doing it? Michelle from Plan on it. She does it a lot, which is why I was like, "Ooh, that's a good neat trick. Let me try it." Well, I can honestly say it doesn't work for me. I also seen my really good friend Ruth from Ruthful Planning doing it. And I think it's amazing, but again, it didn't work for me. So I realized that I didn't have a month here. I grabbed that sticker month header from Mojo Jojo Plans brown boxes and I put it there in between the rings of the coffee and I love how that looks. It's just so cute and the style of the lettering just goes perfect with everything. I'm lifting this sticker up to put another quote because I didn't have a quote on this other side and I wanted to balance it as much as I could out. So I thought that would go perfect there. I add this coffee bean with the cherry blossoms on top and I wanted something like that there, but honestly, I did not want the one that I put down after looking at it, it just looked really weird, and so I remove it later and put something else on it, but I do keep it to the coffee beans and cherry blossoms. My girls came in, and as I was doing this video, so if you see fingers just pointing everywhere, those are my girls. So Kylia really liked the spread. She loves cherry blossoms, and she was like, "Mommy, I really like this, and I love the coffee beans." So yeah, she liked this one. My little one Isabella also liked the flowers, but honestly, she just wants to play around with stickers and she just wants to come in and start asking what stickers can she take and use. Yeah, it every time. So here I do change out the coffee rings to give it some variety as much as I could and I overlap some I don't. Some I grab like spilled coffee and put it around and like drips. So I thought that was a pretty cool accent to do around the pages. And again, a really full spread, but I think it's like super cute. And I really like how like all the details turn out. And that's usually like the spreads that I like the most. Like if it has a lot of detail, I'm like very drawn to it and I love it. Uh, Sometimes I just love the before the spread and not so much the after the spread, but sometimes I love both. So yeah. Last week's, I can honestly say it is my favorite spread, and after writing in it, I love it even more. It just came all together. So I'm hoping that this is another one that I really enjoy at the end of the year because I mean, last year, looking in my planner last year, like a lot of the spreads I really enjoyed. So it was really hard to pick like my favorite one. I did sit down and narrow it down, but it was pretty hard. It was touch and go for a little bit, right? And so here I am. I'm just adding a little bit more of that floral detail, some on the top, some on the bottom, kind of mix them in with the coffee beans on the top bar because that is one thing I don't like. If I have a really full spread and I leave that top header part without anything, it just looks empty. So for me, adding details on the top of it brings it all together. And I believe, like with my Snow White spread, I did that. I had add a lot of decor in the inside pages, and when I walked away and came back, I was like, I need something needs to go around it. And I added the florals, and then I was really liking the spread. So I did the same with this one. And I feel that I do that a lot when I have really busy spreads in the middle, just so that it doesn't look weird or a lot of white spaces. So here I'm just adding my final details, and this is a pretty much my spread. I'm gonna place them on the disc so you see how they look. And remember, if you're gonna shop any Mojo Jojos or anything, please consider using my links and my discount code. You'll find them all in the description box. And this is pretty much it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.